The world is in the process of reuniting. It's a cultural zeitgeist, and social media is flooding with post-pandemic reunion videos filled with laughter and hugs and tears and just the feeling like, finally, you're here. We can hug. We can all let out a huge sigh of relief because now we can all feel so much more like ourselves again. Because it's a relief to be released from the emotional strain of missing someone or something or some special place. Anything about our lives that makes us feel more like ourselves. Relief. That's an emotion in high demand in 2021. And your brand can be a part of providing that relief to your community. You just need to name what it is they are missing the most. And you could have possibly named it more appropriately than the Friends Reunion. Today, we answer the question on every entrepreneur's mind. How can I give my brand community what they really want in 2021? And how can my brand do it better than anyone else? It's 2021. For the first time in living memory, the whole world has found itself in the same boat. Me, you, every customer you have, and every customer you hope to gain. And we are all in the wake of a pandemic that's caused worldwide lockdowns and keeping many of us way too far away from the people and places we care about most. So let's talk about what that means for your brand in this post-pandemic marketplace. We're going to do a case study on some famous reunions, most recently the Friends Reunion, and I'm going to give you 4 ways your brand can activate the reunion effect in 2021. At the end of the episode, stick around because I want you to have an exclusive link to our amazing resource for connecting your brand with your audience in 2021. You're going to love it, and it's actually something you're going to use right away, so be sure to check it out. So let's jump in with number 1, label the wish fulfilled. Could the Friends Reunion be any more specific with labeling our wish to reunite with friends and family? As a professional namer for the past 25 years, I always tell my clients that a brand's name should be a wish fulfilled. With the whole world collectively missing people they love, the Friends Reunion is a branding bullseye. Even though the Friends Reunion was scheduled to happen before we realized there would be a worldwide shutdown, it seems as if the timing was perfect. The HBO Max special finally aired in 2021 when the world's desire to be reunited with the people they love was at an all-time high. In America, over 2 million people watched the Friends Reunion over the holiday weekend it was released, and in the UK, it broke records for being the most watched show ever on the popular Sky One broadcasting network. Millions of people worldwide gathered around their TV set, not just because they loved the hit sitcom Friends, but because they wanted to feel reunited with their lives before the pandemic. Finally, being able to see each other again, to wrap our arms around each other again, the grateful return of a million little things we've all been missing so much, the things that make us feel like ourselves, the things that make us feel like we've come home. The act of reuniting with all these precious aspects of life has become a cultural zeitgeist. Are you planning a reunion tour for your brand community? Because your brand is perfectly positioned to help your audience feel like they are finally returning home after a long, strange journey. And as the world starts to open up again, what are your ideal individuals wishing for right now? What's their heart's desire? What have they been missing the most? Do they want to hug their mom again? Do they want to introduce their new baby to his or her grandparents? TikTok is flooded with baby meets grandparents for the first time videos, and they are so good every time. It never gets old. Do they want to hear the sound of all their siblings in the same room laughing all at once again? That would seem like the sweetest sound in the world to me right now. Have I got you thinking about your people that you can't wait to see again? Do you ever have those moments where you catch yourself grinning like a goof because you're imagining the first time you see them again? Don't feel silly, because I'm pretty sure we're all doing it. We miss our friends. We miss our families. We miss birthday parties and baseball games, going to the movies. We miss so many people and so many things. How can your brand message help to bring us home? Brainstorm all the way your brand messaging can inspire this sense of homecoming, and then name it as if it's already happened. Label their wish fulfilled as though it were an incantation your brand is calling into existence. You don't need to try to be clever. The Friends Reunion is not a clever name. It couldn't be more clear. When it comes to branding, and especially when it comes to naming, clarity wins over cleverness every time. You just need to listen to your ideal individuals, identify that wish most deeply held in their hearts, and then extend your brand out to them like a helping hand by labeling their wish fulfilled. And if you do it right, they'll reach right back. Number 2, be new. but familiar. This is another key naming strategy used by the Fortune 100 companies to inspire massive brand loyalty, and it's a secret sauce for what makes reunions so appealing to the massive. How appealing? So appealing. So here's what's new but familiar is and how powerful it is in branding. Because when something is new, we feel, curious and excited about it. We lean in, we see an opportunity to be the first to tell other people about something awesome. And we love that feeling. We love sharing good things with other people. That is the essence of word of mouth advertising, which is 50 times more effective than any other type of marketing. And free. When something is new and familiar, we already feel a connection to it. Even though it's new, we feel like it already belongs to us. New but familiar reminds us of ourselves because things change. Life goes on, and we are constantly growing and having new experiences that shape and reshape our perspectives. And yet, through it all, in our heart of hearts, we are still ourselves, right? We're familiar to ourselves. We have our core personality traits, but we can still change. Naming and brand messaging that is new but familiar gives a brand life because new but familiar aligns with the human experience of being alive. And it's also a key component to why reunions are such a huge draw, especially in 2021. We can't wait to get together with the people who are wonderfully familiar to us because we've been separated for upwards of a year or more by the pandemic, which is definitely a new experience that we want to share. Things have changed since the pandemic, and the brands who don't adapt their messaging to reflect these major cultural shifts are going to miss out on a tremendous opportunity to connect emotionally with their customers. The strong emotional need of consumers in 2021 isn't to feel like nothing has changed. It's more nuanced than that. And brands who pick up on this nuance are really going to stand out. The emotional need that people have now is to be able to acknowledge that things have changed and to feel relief and pride in the way we are all coming together and bravely moving forward in the same way we have always done before. Number 3, get emotional. The decision to buy is emotional. Everything our planet has been through and continues to face with the pandemic is emotional. Your brand has the ability to connect with people in a very impactful way by inspiring the emotions that the world needs right now. Relief, joy, pride, triumph, togetherness. When you build your brand like a hometown, your brand has the ability to inspire people to want to return again and again and again. That's the reunion effect. It happens when your brand makes your audience feel like they've come home every time they encounter your brand. That's why I created the 10 landmarks of branding, because reuniting with the places and people that make us feel the most like ourselves has always been in high demand. Actually, I don't usually do this, but check the description at the end of the episode because I want you to have the 10 landmarks of branding in addition to the branding checklist that I've already promised you. It's just too perfect for what we're talking about. So I'm going to create an exclusive link just for this episode. Friends isn't the only popular sitcom that came together to offer their fans a sweet reunion through the pandemic. Although at $2.5 million each, they were definitely the most well compensated. Parks and Rec recorded a delightful Zoom session exchanging banter while in character. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air staged a Zoom reunion as a sweet surprise to their fans. Even West Wing did a table read with Martin Sheen reprising his role as the President of the United States to raise money for charity. All of these reunions continue to rack up millions of views, but the reunion effect isn't specific to 2021. It is always in high demand. In 2002, the 30th anniversary reunion of MASH, do you guys remember that? Had 10 million households across the U.S. all tuned in at the same time. My dad's house was one of them. He loved MASH. There's a hiking trail in Malibu Creek State Park that takes you to the set where MASH was filmed, and I actually went once with a friend. Once you get to the site, there aren't a lot of original set pieces left, but the helipad is still there, and there's a couple of really old military trucks you can climb around on. If you Google the images of the show, you can recognize the same mountain ranges behind the actors. I didn't watch a lot of MASH because the show wrapped in 1983, and I was probably more interested in cartoons at the time, but I remember the friend I was hiking with became emotional as we explored the area. Her eyes got glassy, and she had a sweet, nostalgic smile as she read a plaque that the fans placed there. Her tears, it shocked me because I already knew she wasn't a super fan or anything. She told me that her dad also loved MASH. He was a super fan, and she used to watch it with him on the couch every week. And even though she didn't really like it as much as he did, I remember her voice cracked as mine is right now because it's so touching. And she told me how she would just pretend to like it because she loved how happy it made her dad. She wanted to be a part of that joy, even if she didn't understand it. So she shared with me that when they watched the season finale together in 1984, with 100 million other people across the country, literally half the entire population of the United States, that was the first and only time she ever saw her dad cry. It was a precious moment for her, and reuniting with that place, seeing it with her own eyes, had transported her in time to the living room of her childhood home. And just for a moment, she was a little girl watching TV on the couch with her dad. That is the staying power of an emotional brand, as you can see on my face, that is built like a hometown. My friend doesn't even like watching MASH, but she loves it because the way it brings her home. So as you're brainstorming ways for your brand to come out of nowhere in 2021, get your heart involved. Get emotional. Transcends decades, right? Connect with what your audience is experiencing. Use your brand messaging to let them know they aren't alone. And make your brand promise the beacon of light that guides them home. How can your brand activate the reunion effect now in 2021 when the demand for reconnecting and reuniting is at an all-time high? Build your brand to bring them home. Let's recap the top 3 ways for activating the reunion effect. And they are: label the wish fulfilled, be new but familiar, and get emotional. And as promised, check out the description to get access to a treasure trove of insider information and step-by-step assistance for building your brand to come out of nowhere. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this episode, hit the subscribe button and don't forget to click the bell so you don't miss a single thing. I release new videos every Tuesday and Thursday, so keep treating these episodes as a masterclass for becoming an inspiration to millions with branding. And as always, the way to become an inspiration to millions starts with our motto: love what you do and love how you do it. Thanks for watching. Don't miss out on a single thing. Subscribe below. And here's something else I think you'll love.